What was Vandy able to do to be so successful against you on the first half?
Well, I've said it, and I think, again, every time we play against Vanderbilt, it proves what I've always said about Jerry Stackhouse. He's a terrific coach. His guys execute. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. And when they're making shots, I mean, like any team, it makes everything better for everybody when you're making shots. But really proud of our team in the second half. I thought we came out, played better. We had to. But going into this game, I thought it would be this type of game. Every time we play them, it's a grind. And I know our guys have terrific respect for them. We broke down a couple of times in the first half with our scouting report where we left some guys we shouldn't leave. And I think tonight you look at what Lem Robbins did. I mean, he had a game. I mean, where he did a lot of things, and he got the ball where he wanted it for the most part and finished it. But their second chance points in the first half was a huge difference in the game to start with. And second half, I think they only got 6 of those. But we had to play better in the second half, and we did. And but there's so many things that we've got to get better with.
Ryan, Mike, and Ben.
Zakai has 27 assists over his last 3 games. Just what's flipped? Has there been some conversation or something that's kind of changed his mindset?
Well, I think he's getting better. I mean, he's a year and a half into his college career, and you know, he's learning because he's never been what I think he would tell you a natural point guard. He's always been a scorer, and that's what he's been asked to do. And so he's learning to play, and it's exciting to think how much better he can get because at the end of the game there, for instance, he's got to manage that better. Like, I mean, he went down and got a shot blocked knowing that there's a 7-foot guy in the lane all night that's not leaving the lane. And, you know, I think he slowed up and thought it was going to be easy. But, again, Lem Robbins made a terrific play there. But at the end of the game, the turnovers we had, and they weren't necessarily on him because some of the passes led to one of those turnovers for certain. But he's going to get better because he works. He wants to get better. He knows he needs to get better. And so we need him to.
Rick, what did Julian do so well tonight? It seemed like he was maybe more assertive and looking for his game on both ends.
I thought he moved better without the ball. He was making more than one cut and stopping and playing. He made first play of the game. He made a great, what we'd call a marine cut, and came back off the money pin down and kept going and got going downhill is a big thing for him, and made a great effort to get on the glass. Defensively, he's working, and they got him tonight coming out of a timeout. But you got to give it to him. He was up. We knew we had to defend the 3-point line, but they set him up, and really another good call by Coach Stackhouse, and scored quickly. And those situations, you can't let teams come down and score that quickly out of a timeout. But I think Julian is again, he's just still getting started, and I think the more he plays, the more we'll see him continue to assert himself offensively.
Urosh mentioned a conversation that you all had yesterday when he talked to us. Just what did that conversation consist of, and how much has he applied what you all discussed to these last couple of games that have allowed him to be successful?
Well, his biggest thing is that we need him to play defensive rebound, and he's going to have to be good on ball screen defense. I mean, they do a terrific job with her, and they got us a number of times tonight where, again, they're well coached, and I'm not sure anybody ball screens any better than these guys in terms of knowing what they're looking for and get it where they want it. But you know what? We told him that he needed to get better there. We told him that he's going to have to rebound, but the biggest thing too offensively is knowing his space on the floor, where he's got to get there, and expect him to be aggressive. Like tonight, he got a dunk block. He's got to finish those. But he did a terrific job tonight. Again, playing against a really good player for the most part, because we're not going to shut people out that are skilled as a guy like Lem Robbins is in there. But I thought he made him work. But the fact is, and going up and making the free throws, I think he acted like he was very confident when he did it. But we need all of our post guys to continue to be more aggressive and fight for their space in the lane. And our ball screen defense it's got to get better. It's got to.
Coach, did you like the way your kids responded coming out of half? You haven't been down very often, and they looked like just a veteran team that was a panic.
Well, at the start of the first half, again, I think you got to give a lot of credit to Vandy. I mean, they got down. They didn't flinch either. They're not. Every time I've coached against Coach Stackhouse, his team stay in it. They're not going to quit. they've honestly, they've got a lot of his personality where they're gonna fight you every step they can and will. But our veterans in the first half, I didn't think were very good. I mean, the last play at the end of the first half is one of the worst plays since I've been here. To let somebody with that time on the clock dribble the ball the length of the floor and nobody stop the ball, that can't happen. But that was a really bad play. But I'll see it in a little bit here again. But I just thought early our veterans, from a defensive standpoint, from our scouting report, had some breakdowns that they can't have early in the game. I thought we were better defensively, obviously, in the second half.
Paige, then Casey.
Back in with Blacks now. Vanderbilt's coach kind of contributed the tempo that you all came out with in the second half as to why you all were able to mount that big lead, kind of stay around that 10-point lead in the second half. Is it the tempo that changed, or what was that flip for you all going into the second?
We try to run. I mean, we want to play. We want some explosive plays, and what that is to us is if we can get down the floor and get something done in really the first 7 seconds. If we can get down, we had our wings did a good job running tonight. We got some of those baskets. And then when we are organized, we're a good offensive team. It's when we're not organized and when we don't listen, we're not a heavy ball screen team. And when we were doing some of that, I thought they were prepared to double, which they do. But our tempo is important. We need to get out and run like we did tonight and get some of those. We like to live in transition is what we do. Whether we get to early surge or not, we want to flow and keep pressure. We want to just keep going that way, and there's no doubt we're better. Some teams will try to slow you down by getting you in deep possessions, but Vanderbilt's another team. If you let them get out in open court, they're really good. They're lethal, and they'll make you pay, and which they did a couple times tonight. But otherwise, they're just so disciplined offensively, and if you get the ball, you better be ready to go with it because they get their defense set. They're tough to deal with.
Coach, the majority of Santi's points came in the second half. What does this team do so well to set him up in a position to be successful and put those numbers up?
Well, he helps himself a lot because he draws attention. Santi's got a really good feel. I didn't think he was locked in offensively as much. I thought he was a little too casual to start. Defensively, he was locked in. He always is. Like I've told you many times, he impacts the game without scoring, but on offense, he's a player that really sees it, and he is always out there adjusting to what teams are playing and how they're playing him. But his movement without the ball too. I mean, when he gets moving and gets his feet set, he's a guy that's difficult to deal with.
Mike Gentry, then Graham.
Rick, Tobey, and Jemai didn't play the second half and didn't play a lot early. What were they not doing?
I didn't think Jemai early was locked into the game offensively, and he was just not doing that part of it where he was getting sped up. He doesn't need to ever get sped up, and that was really the situation because in a game like this, we've got to take care of the ball. And Tobey, no reason other than that we played smaller at times tonight because of the fact we knew we really wanted to try to keep pressure on the three-point line. And we have a team with Josiah now and Julian that we can play small. And we feel like we can guard the three. We can switch better. And they run such good actions. And they screen well. They clip you where they do a good job coming off. And so that was the reason. It's just that we played more small ball tonight.
Rick, for years you've complimented Coach Stackhouse's teams, and I'm just curious why you think the results haven't quite come together for him there in terms of NCAA tournament and things like that.
Well, it takes time, and you got to get fortunate too. You do, and you think about it. If Scottie Pippen was still there, they would probably be picked top 3 teams in the league, and that hurts. We all know today that can happen, but what he does a great job of is developing players. And how many new players does he have this year? He lost some obviously through the portal, and which we all do. But what impresses me about him is how his team continues to get better, and it'll happen. I mean, it could happen this year. I mean, they're believe me, they had their way with us, and as much as any team we've played in a while, they ran, did what they wanted to do. I love the demeanor his team plays with. He's a terrific doing his part coming out of the timeouts, and his teams execute better than our team, and that's on me because his teams execute exactly what he wants them to do, and most of the time they get the shot that he wants them to get. I mean, they came out tonight and had 2 shots. I mean, it's a big play right there in front of the rim when that one shot was missed 2 feet in front of the rim. That could have changed the whole game if the ball would have gone in. But I think I go back. It took us 3 years here before where I thought we were in a position to be competitive. You know, went through some tough losses, and I know this. The guy can coach basketball. He can, and it's neat watching his team. I mean, I was talking to the TV people today earlier, and I said it's amazing how his teams taking on his personality, where they're not going to quit, they're going to keep going, and I just think it's a matter of time. And this team here is going to that he's got right now, they can put themselves in a position to get to the NCAA tournament this year, because this league, I don't care what anybody says, it's as wide open as it's been since I've been here, and some team can get on a roll and go, and it could be a number of teams.
How do you talk to your guys about a Kentucky team going into Saturday, a Kentucky team that's struggled as of late?
Well, I know that a couple years ago we went up and had a good win up there, and they came in here and just owned us, just did what they wanted to do, had a huge win against us where we, again, I'll say the same about John Calipari's team. They're going to get better. They're going to keep getting better. I didn't see the game tonight. I don't know what happened there. And I know he's dealt with some injuries too. Somebody did tell me that Casey Wallace, I think, got hurt tonight, and which I don't know. Somebody said that to me, but the fact is, I've got so much respect for John. I've known him a lifetime in this business, and he'll have his team ready. And I think our guys certainly know that.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Jeff.